I get to lead the meeting, and I think we're gonna, should we give them another minute?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
I didn't get anything,
Yes or no?
I don't recall him saying.
Yeah.
Is his AP testing this week?
Oh, yeah, we'll give him another minute, and then we'll move on. He's normally on time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, okay, so we'll give it another minute, and then. Then we'll get started. So what happened with the HTML thing? It just didn't, because I saw that too on the, you don't know, it just didn't. Yeah, oh, yeah, so I just didn't know if, yeah, it had happened before. I hadn't seen that before.
I know how to, which is why I was able to fix it when it was brought to my
Oh,
attention.
okay.
Like, oh, that shouldn't have happened.
I
But
see.
when I went in there, it showed that it was posted.
Yeah.
It just didn't show up for some
Interesting.
reason, so, I don't know, that's something I'll have to ask IT about.
I'd be curious.
All of those people were gone for the day, so.
Yeah.
Maybe they cleaned it off.
Probably, that's probably it. All right, with that, we will get this meeting started, calling to order the May 9th meeting of the Parks, Rec, and Open Space Commission. I will begin, I guess we do the roll call first. So let's have a call to roll.
We'll go ahead and start with roll call. Commissioner Chang Frank.
Here.
Commissioner Kent.
Here.
Commissioner Martin.
Here.
Commissioner OG.
Here.
And Vice Chair Abbott.
Here, very good.
Jeremy, Commissioner Chin might be in later, but Chair Sainberg is absent tonight.
Great, thank you. All right, I will read the land acknowledgement. The City of Albany recognizes that we occupy the land originally protected by the Confederated Villages of Lejeune. We acknowledge the genocide that took place on these lands and must make strides to repay the moral debt that is owed to this indigenous people, specifically the Ohlone tribe. We thank them for their contributions, which have transformed our community and will continue to bring forth growth and unity. The City of Albany commits to sustaining ongoing relationships with the tribe and together build a better future for all that now make this their home. Okay, time for approval of the minutes.
There's a correction to the minutes?
Oh, very good. Wow.
Yeah. Let's see, let me just, I'm seeing it for the first time because it wasn't posted earlier, but let me see
Sure.
since it's fixed court.
There was one correction I noticed. The date was,
Oh, the date I didn't catch, but that's good, you caught that. But the commissioners on the subcommittee for the Ohlone play equipment,
Yes.
so it has me on there, but it's the other Martin, Martin OG.
Oh, I see.
I saw that.
I see.
Yeah.
Confusing.
You of all people would
Sit
catch
right next
that,
to
huh?
each other. Martin with an E, Martin with an I.
Yeah.
Very
One
interesting.
step back on that volunteering. Yeah.
So I believe we can have a motion to approve the minutes with corrections.
yes.
Second. Oh, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the corrections.
I second.
All right, a vote please.
Commissioner Chang Frank.
Yes.
Commissioner Kent.
Yes.
Commissioner Martin.
Yes.
Commissioner OG.
Yes.
And Vice Chair Abbott.
Yes. And that was, you almost got him on that too. That was good, that was close. All right, public comment, do we have anybody calling in? I'm not seeing.
No hands are raised online.
No raise, so just folks watching wish to speak, now's the time to speak on something that is not on the agenda. Not seeing anything. Okay, very good. Moving right along. Any announcements, staff or commissioners?
Jeff has an announcement. I'll let him go first.
I do have an announcement, thank you. First of all, Jeff Bond, the Community Development Director. And we should say Mark Hurley, the Public Works Director, not feeling well, and so he won't be here this evening.
Give him our best.
He sends his regrets. On Saturday, we're having our compost giveaway at Memorial Park. It's Saturday, begins at 8 o'clock in the morning. We usually run out after a few hours. We have more this year than we have in the past due to a new agreement with Waste Management, but nonetheless, the earlier you get there, the better. You should have gotten a flyer from Waste Management with a little waiver on it that we'll be collecting. If you didn't, don't worry about that. We'll have extras, and you can pull your car up on Carmel, sign the waiver, get some compost, and go to work.
And you don't need to register, reserve, or anything like that? You just
First
show
come,
up?
first
First
serve,
come, first
first
serve. Okay, all right. Any other announcements, commission
Yeah,
announcements?
I have an announcement. I don't know if any of you are aware, but Superintendent Frank Wells passed away, and his memorial is tomorrow afternoon, evening, from 4 to 7 at Albany Middle School. And, I actually had a chance to work with Dr. Wells as part of this commission, and he was a real friend to this commission in that he, when we asked, got temporary basketball courts put up like very quickly, and then again, when the portables went, first of all, he got that construction project done very quickly and got those portables out of there, and then almost immediately put the basketball courts back up that the city council had requested. So I just want to acknowledge his friendship and his leadership in the city, and just let you all know that that's happening tomorrow, 4 to 7, Albany Middle School.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, it was a shocking loss. Any other announcements? I don't believe I have any tonight. Not seeing any.
Okay, well, I'll do
Yeah,
mine.
very good. I'm sorry.
No problem. I just wanted you guys to go ahead and get yours.
Very good.
Okay. So, I have 4 announcements. The first one being, it is Older Americans Month of May, so the Senior Center would like you to come join them as they celebrate Older Americans Month with the schedule of jam-packed activities, starting off with their Tuesday weekly movies. May 7th was Wonka, so the next one will be The Taste of Things on May 14th. Those times are at 1:30, and you can get popcorn for $1. Then they will also have, on May 18th, they will be hosting the Brushes and Brews. You can come paint and have a delicious beverage, as a paint night instructor will guide participants using acrylic paint on a canvas. No experience needed. Registration is required. The fee for that is $40, and it's from 1:30 to 4:30. And finally, there will be a lovely Mother's Day luncheon on May 10th and an ice cream social on May 23rd. You can contact the Senior Center for further details. Please don't forget the FOAS garage sale will be Saturday, May 18th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can come find some unique items at a really good price. Then we have Friendship Summer Camp. It's not too late to sign up your kids for Friendship Summer Camp. Our summer camp engages, delights, and inspires children to have fun through play. Campers will make new friends and learn new skills. Join us for 1 week or the whole summer to make memories that last a lifetime. And you can access this on the www.albanyca.org website. You go under residents, and you can simply click on Friendship Club. And then we have the last one will be, second to the last, Movies in the Park. On Friday, May 17th, the City of Albany will be hosting a free movie at Memorial Park Stage, starting at 8:30 p.m. Bring your family, pack a picnic and a blanket for a lovely evening of entertainment under the stars. They will be showing Wonder Woman. This is a PG-13 movie, and it's free for everyone. And finally, the last announcement is we have kicked off the renovations of the pickleball courts. The lights have gone up. There's some fencing that has been put up, so feel free to drop by and take a look and see how that progress is going.
I think that deserves a, that's great.
They're
2.5
hoping,
years or?
How many, you and I were on the subcommittee for that, like 5, 6 years ago? I don't know.
we're hoping to be done and complete within the next few weeks or so.
Oh, that's great news. Thanks so much. They're all great news, but that one has a particular connection here. All right. Okay, moving on then, no other announcements. We'll move right into presentations. I think, let's see, item 5.1.
Thank you. Again, Jeff Bond, Community Development Director. I'd like to start by asking for your patience this evening. When we were here last month, we had visions of being a little bit further prepared than it turns out that we are. But nonetheless, we would like to talk with you and get your feedback on some of the survey results and some draft ideas for a vision. The good news is that it's definitely not fully baked, so your input is great, and we'll benefit from it, even though we're probably not quite as polished as we would normally like to be. It's been a busy couple of weeks for Daria and for us. So anyhow, again, thank you and grateful for your patience with us as we continue to work forward on this. With that, can I turn it to you, and then we can...
So I wanted to share, I think I shared a little bit about the survey the last time I was here, but we have had 178 responses so far. And we did talk to, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of how many people attended the...
A lot of it. We didn't count. It was impossible to count, but we handed out a lot of flyers. We talked to a lot of people. Those of you who were there came by. We were handing out tree seedlings that were very popular.
Yeah.
And
We handed out 100 seedling trees.
and
It was you, yeah.
Yes,
My wife was so
yeah.
disappointed she came late, but.
Oh, good. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, we tried to find a species that was going to be small enough that most people could plant in their yard. It wouldn't cause too much problems. So we did get a little bit of feedback that people were disappointed that it wasn't a native tree, but there's very limited native trees that are small enough to fit in someone's yard if they don't have a lot of space.
And what was that seedling? Which type?
I think we had Chinese pistache, and I forget what the other species was. Ginkgo, a type of ginkgo, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not remembering which.
Ginkgo is a pretty slow-growing tree. It does get large sometimes, but,
And just to be clear, they're talking about the Community Expo, just in case
Yes.
anybody was wondering.
oh, great.
Yeah.
The Community Expo, exactly. Yeah, so we have ended up with 178 responses so far from the survey, which I feel pretty good about that number. We have about 67% of folks responding to the survey that they love trees. About 20% of people are kind of indifferent on trees in general. So that's very similar to what we saw in the survey that was passed around last summer, kind of not specific information about trees. I think the real takeaway here is that 75% of people who responded to the survey feel that more canopy is needed in Albany, which is really good, I think, for the program that we're here to talk about. Regarding the street tree funding question, which I think hopefully most of you have filled out the survey and are a little bit familiar with what it says, but it kind of asks about shifting funding from municipal, sort of a shared maintenance agreement, to being 100% funded by the city, and tax increase there to help fund the program. And we had about 50% of people responding to that, just a little over 50% of people responding yes, and about 27% of folks really not sure, and then about 20% of folks saying that they weren't interested in doing that. So I think that's a pretty good number moving forward, and it doesn't give us an exact replica of what we're going to be looking at, but I think it gives us some idea of the direction that we want to go in. And let's see, some interesting information about the folks who filled out the survey. The largest group of people who filled out the survey live in the Dartmouth neighborhood, and followed by East Washington. So pretty even distribution throughout the city in terms of feedback. And most folks who filled out the survey are folks who have lived in Albany for greater than 10 years, but not their whole life. And most folks who filled out the survey are homeowners. So skews very well-educated. You're almost 90% of folks who filled out the survey have some kind of higher education. All right, that kind of wraps up my presentation on at least our survey. And I want to jump right into our mission and vision and maybe give you guys a little bit of background on where we're at. So a little bit of background coming into this is the mission and vision, the way that we are seeing it, is that it will help to guide where we're taking the entire project, right? So right now, there's a shared maintenance agreement. If we're going to shift maintenance to the city, it's a vital question for the project that we're working on. So if we are going to shift the maintenance to the city and ask for a tax increase, that really changes the direction of the project. So one of the main pieces that we're kind of waiting on was information about whether or not we would be going in that direction. And we've drafted a mission and a vision statement. The vision statement, the idea of a vision statement is to kind of give a lofty 3,000-foot view of what we want to see in the city of Albany over the next period of time. And it doesn't necessarily have to be tied to some of the things that the mission has to be tied to. The mission really does need to identify who's responsible for what and what the funding source is and what work is going to be accomplished. Those are kind of like the three main pieces of any mission statement. And particularly for this project, we really need to dig into that and understand it so that we can proceed with other pieces of the project. So that is what we have a draft of, and I believe that you guys got a draft. Now, I understand that it wasn't posted or something like that, so if you guys don't feel like if you feel like you haven't had enough time to really understand or to percolate with it, that's fine. We can take your comments even into next week. But we have a draft up tonight, and Jeff is going to be our scribe. And we are happy to make red line comments with you all if you would like to have some input on the actual language and the way that it's worded.
Great. Well, before we get into that, I thought we would ask for commissioner questions. Yeah, this could be about the survey, I suppose. This is preliminary results, right? We'll have some more formal results later, or?
Probably not until
Probably not?
it's a piece of the community outreach. So we'll have a chapter or section on community outreach in the plan, but I mean, I don't see any reason why we can't keep the survey open
Sure,
for a lot
exactly.
longer.
Right, but you're probably not going to get another flood of.
My guess is probably not.
Okay, all right. Well, anyway, open up for commissioner questions. Anything you'd like clarification?
Survey, so you mentioned who took it and how many people, but was there anything learned? I mean, were you going to present what was learned from the survey to us at some point, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we learned, the most important piece that we learned was about the shared maintenance. And that piece is really important to us. About 50% of people said that they would support a tax increase to take over, have the city take back over maintenance for trees in the right-of-way.
I have a question, too.
sure,
Oh,
go ahead.
you can go ahead. I just wanted you to know I was this way.
I'm just wondering if, I don't remember in this, it's been a while since I took the survey, but did it say approximately how much it would cost? I don't remember it having that kind of detail, right? I mean, it's just.
We don't have that kind of detail yet.
I didn't think so. Okay, very good.
Can you repeat what you said were the three parts of a good mission statement?
Yes. So the three parts of a good mission statement will contain what standard of care you are going to be performing, who is going to perform that standard of, who is responsible for making sure that that standard of care is met, and how that standard of care is going to be funded.
Thank you.
If we could go back to the survey really quick in terms of how it's going to be used. There was one question, I'm assuming I saw the same survey, but about which neighborhoods would you want to see more trees in?
Yes.
Is that going to be used in any meaningful way? And
Yes.
the reason I say that is it did not include East Washington as a
Oh.
neighborhood. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I actually even sent that to, I think, whoever was named and also Isabel. Anyway, just want you to know, and maybe it got in somebody's, like, flooded in somebody's email chain, but I think that's a real omission, obviously, especially if half the participants were East Washington neighbors. But,
Okay, let me take a look. Oh, you're right. Shoot.
You're saying the survey was missing a checkbox for saying that you live in the East Washington?
no, that if you wanted more trees to be in East Washington. So, yeah.
I believe they have on that.
It was missing a question you
Yeah.
were hoping would have been on there.
Right, well, yeah, because it included the East Washington neighborhood when it said, where do you live? But not for the, what neighborhoods would you want to see more trees?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the neighborhoods that folks want to see more trees, since you've raised it, is Lower Solano wins by a lot, 60% of, well, this is one of those things where the percentage really doesn't matter because it's not going to add up to 100, right? It's just that, because people were able to do more than one neighborhood. So it's like 60% of people said Lower Solano as a neighborhood that they would like to see more trees. It's not out of 100. So along those same lines, West Washington was 50% of folks said West Washington, and Dartmouth came up pretty high, as did Garfield. Yeah.
Yeah, East Washington is a neighborhood that's seen a lot of large established trees removed recently and a lot of vocal presentation in our meetings with a lot of public comment on that. So that's probably why, and also her neighborhood. So.
Yeah, I mean, I looked for it and it wasn't there, so.
Yeah, I'm so
obvious.
sorry about that. That was obviously my bad.
How would that information be used? I mean, if you find out that this community said we want more in the Lower Solano area, would the plan then try to plant more trees in the Lower Solano? I mean, we're trying to plant trees in the available spaces throughout the town, the city, or are we going to start focusing, according to the survey, on certain areas?
I think what we would envision is that the city would plant all available spaces, but with high priorities for neighborhoods that are historically underserved or have low canopy cover. And those
The
are,
historic underserved is not the same as the ones that are responding to the survey necessarily.
Exactly.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I think in terms of prioritization, that would be our goal, would be to prioritize neighborhoods with low canopy cover or that have historically not had tree canopy. And then, of course, prioritizing where people want to see trees is also very important. The people who respond to surveys and who express interest in seeing trees planted tend to be good gardeners of their newly planted trees. So we definitely want to plant trees where people want to see them.
Given that omission, do you have, maybe you could come back to us with how you might sort of resolve that? Because I think it would be a big oversight to not just say, oh, we didn't, I can even imagine the plan having an asterisk. We didn't include East Washington, but I feel like that's not enough to sort of represent the voices of people who might have wanted to indicate that.
I'm not 100% sure tonight what we,
Okay, yeah, and you can take some time with it, but I do think it needs to be addressed in a meaningful way.
yeah.
Okay.
And then questions. I know you said you're behind, and that's totally fine. When do you envision having a cost, right? Because people are giving a survey, they're responding to being willing to, the tax increase, but we don't actually know
What that means.
what
yeah.
that means, right? So when do you envision having even if it's a ballpark of what it may be? Because then the response is more accurate.
Yeah, good question. I think if we want to go down this road, which I think it sounds like at least the commissioners here, and hopefully we will get some clarification for our mission and vision tonight. We would like to get some numbers put together. We can do that pretty quickly. Yeah.
All right, any other clarifying questions before we open for public comment, which we may or may not have any?
I just had a question about how this vision statement was created. I mean, given that, the survey didn't necessarily ask for all the pieces, so if you could tell us a little bit about that process?
Yeah, so the vision statement in particular, I drafted up a version of it and then worked it back and forth with city staff and kind of put together what we felt like was what were the key pieces, and that was kind of where we are, yeah.
Okay, and then just curious, what's the sort of iterative process? Are you going to take it to, because I think the other body that might be very interested in weighing in is the, is it climate, sorry, I can't remember what the name is, climate change, or
The Climate Action Committee, yes.
Climate Action Committee. I feel like that would be, so I'm wondering if that can be incorporated also before a final, so it's us now and then potentially city council, right? Or does it not go to city council before?
I mean, we can go to whatever commissions you guys think are the right commissions to be
Okay.
at. I think we don't have a problem with that. I think this is kind of a big piece for me, and I don't want to move forward on a lot of things until we have we're in lockstep with the direction that we're going. So like getting numbers for how much these things are actually going to cost, we're kind of holding back on moving forward on some of these key pieces until we kind of have a direction that we're going.
Yeah, because I could see, well, maybe I'm getting into comments, but I could see the fact that we didn't have this or the public wasn't able to view it before, whether or not we choose to bring it back here is a question, but if we bring it to if you brought it to the Climate Action Council, then that's a way to have the public be able to weigh in at that point. So this is a way to sort of, do two things at once. So.
Good point.
Again, sorry that we're a day or two or more behind where we thought we would be when we made the commitment to be here
It's
today.
unfortunate, but I think we understand. It's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, just we'll do the best we can, just like we know you're doing.
Yep.
And that's, I think it's an excellent idea, that the public may not feel prepared. I just got this afternoon. I've only been able to
Yeah.
read about half of it.
No, the public hasn't
Exactly.
seen it. The public
Exactly.
hasn't seen it to even know whether they want to comment or not.
Exactly. So
there's-
having it the other
We
meetings.
can have that conversation after the public, if there's any public comment.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Open it up for any public comment. Any hands raised?
No hands raised.
No hands raised. Don't see anybody here. We'll bring it on back then. I think Brian might have something to say, if he's ready.
Yeah, well, I'm just starting to read through it. So well, one thing is, so the City of Albany vision statement versus the management mission statement. So I guess you might clarify, like, it's a vision statement for what? Once I read it, I see, oh, this is about the street tree program, but so you might say, but it does seem to include a number of different considerations for why people want to have good, healthy street trees. It's kind of tricky because so how are we going to balance this if, say, the final decision is, so there's kind of, I guess there's two ways to go. Either the city decides it's going to manage all the street trees, and there's a funding source and all that, and it would take quite a while to actually have a vote from the public on funding a new tax or something, if that's what it is. So how do you write up a report that says what the city's goals and vision are if we don't know who's going to be taking care of stuff?
Yeah, that's something that we're struggling with.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that's the real concern, is that we're going to move forward with a a mission that identifies that we are going to maintain trees in a particular way, and then not have the ability to maintain trees in that particular way. So if we are to move forward with a tax, for example, and it doesn't happen, we would need to kind of change directions, because the city only has a particular amount of dollars associated with management, and those dollars are focused on maintaining safety. So if there is a hazard or imminent failure, then there is an ability for the city to move forward with certain aspects. But pruning a tree to reduce the hazard is not an option for the city at this point.
And we've heard people speak before us in the last couple of years about these liquid ambers that were cut down in eastern Washington and other neighborhoods that have said, well, it's kind of too late now, but if these trees had been pruned properly over the last 50 years, then they would be in a much better position to not be dropping limbs and to have a longer life. And
Yeah, and structural pruning is definitely important. Trees that have been topped in the past, but every city has trees that were topped in the past that they have to deal with.
From PG&E or something.
From whatever. I mean, I used to work for a city in Southern California, and their street tree program was for years was to top and shape. So even just the knowledge and understanding of the way trees grow and tree growth has changed a little bit over the years. Not much, frankly. Once we learned our lesson, we understood what was going on with tree biology and such. Yeah.
So, but I guess it sounds like this could be, we should think of it in terms of that there are these goals, there is this vision, and maybe that's put in place with some sort of funding for the city to do. But even if that doesn't happen, the city can still try to incentivize homeowners or do something, I guess, that there would be some sort of, that this would still be a document that would guide the city to do things that would still help the urban canopy,
Yeah.
even if there aren't these funds.
Yeah. I mean, I think
I think we would like this to be an aspirational document that we are seeking to improve the canopy, the street tree portion of the urban the urban canopy in Albany. So we didn't start this just to figure out how to manage the resources that we have. We'd like it to be more than what we have and to grow the program. Maybe the voters don't approve it ultimately, or maybe the city council doesn't approve it, but I think the notion here is to try to have this, with this vision and mission to help us frame the next couple of months worth of work. And I'm pretty sure this is where the commission wants to go with, I'm sure, differences of opinion and want to learn some of the details, but we're thinking that you want a more vigorous street tree program. And again, this gives them a foundation to start from, and if it changes a little bit, we'll roll with that over time. And yes, we probably will have a check-in with the city council when it's a little bit more baked. We're really at a raw stage here with you right now. But we're hoping there's enough here for you to react today.
And if that's not the direction that the commission wants to go in terms of shared maintenance, we can move in that direction as well, because there's plenty of work to be done in terms of fleshing out sort of what roles and responsibilities do belong to the city and what belong to the homeowner. Frankly, all of the documents that we have so far that the city of Albany has on their website, it's a little convoluted and hard to understand. So just even clarifying that information, who do you ask to do what, when do you do it, all of that information just needs to be clarified, because I find that most people want to do the right thing. They just don't always know what the right thing is, and if that information isn't easy to get, they can end up doing the wrong thing by mistake. So we want to help people understand what it is that they need to do and what it is that we want them to do, and hopefully that will work. So if the commission is not interested in moving forward with a shared maintenance, and that's not the direction we want to go in, great. I just kind of need to know at this point. I guess we could do sort of a continue to keep our toe in the water, where we come back to the commission with some information on pricing and some stuff like that. But the longer we kind of put this policy piece off, the more difficult our work is going to be in terms of just clarifying the roles and responsibilities.
So I think we can certainly work on the vision statement. It's a statement of values. We're saying this is what we're trying to accomplish.
Exactly.
And then what follows is how we're going to do that.
Exactly.
Now, it sounds like we really are kind of looking at two different paths for how we're going to do that. And I know that we've talked for years, probably a decade now, have talked about an outreach program, an educational program to the property owners to teach them how to take care of a lot of them don't know that it's a responsibility to take care of their trees. They don't know. I didn't know when I joined this commission. So in a sense, for me, I mean, I would support either direction, but for me, it seems like it's kind of putting the cart before. Let's try that first. Let's try the city working as a project manager to do blocks at a time so the property owners get a discount. It's not so expensive to have their trees maintained or something. There's these different things you could do, outreach and education and what have you. On the other hand, it seems like what we should be working on is a proposal for a city-funded or city-operated, tax-funded thing that would go on the ballot, because if that doesn't happen, it's not happening. So, something fairly concrete that does spell things out, and it's really a program that we could then put to the voters, because 51% is great, but that's not going to pass a tax, right? A tax needs to be, 66 or 64 or something if it's a specific tax, right?
Well, it's roughly 2 to 1. 50% said yes, 20-something% said no, and then the other 25 or whatever said maybe. So you're pretty close to that threshold.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
Very close.
And so a good program that was spelled out, we could sell to the voters would work.
And I think with across any topic, if you were asked,
Well, that's true.
starting out with that kind of ratio of yes to no is actually a pretty good place to start.
Without any numbers. Now, that's the other part. The numbers could change it either way very rapidly. Yeah, if it's not high, obviously you're going to get more people, and actually if it's higher.
And part of our job and part of your job is to ground it in some reality, and if we come in like, this will be $1,000 per home.
No, absolutely, no.
Yeah, we're not.
No, I understand. Yeah, I understand, yeah. Good point, okay. So I'm not sure how what I've just said helps us, except that we can, I think, maybe kind of spend time on the vision statement to start, to try to kind of express the values and really what we're trying to accomplish. It's also shorter. And then,
Yeah, and it doesn't strike me that this actually says the city's paying for this, right? Right, so I don't see necessarily where it's saying the city's bearing the cost.
well, that's for us to decide.
No, what I'm saying is right now it doesn't say that.
doesn't.
So we're not necessarily deciding on that right now anyway.
Yeah.
Well, we're taking your edits,
yeah.
so I'm going to redline this as you're going along, and if you'd like that language in here, we can.
I see. Oh, okay.
So Albany will strive to protect and grow a healthy and diverse street tree
Yeah, I have some kind of wordsmithing
Yeah.
things, which might be irrelevant once the things all change, but, first line, let's see, the second line, the first, under vision says, environmental, economic, and community assets for the future generations. Should just say current and future, because we don't want to take all the trees down and plant new ones for 30 years from now.
That's a good point.
All right. Then the first line under management, I think it overblows the trees. The city of Albany is committed to sustainable future through the protection. It should be sustainable future, period. The protection and growth of trees in the public right-of-way will support these sustainable goals. Something like that. But the way it's phrased, it sounds like all the sustainable of the city
all we're doing.
is weighed on the trees. And then the last line, I'm just kind of keep reading over and over, and I can't figure it out. Albany staff, in cooperation with community stakeholders, define the unique context of the city and its operations from which these management choices are assessed and acted on. I'm not sure what's trying to be said there, and maybe it's, well, what is the goal of that statement?
It looks to me like they're trying to say who has had input on this, but, or the city wants to see input on this.
Or it seems like it kind of says Albany staff has sort of the default sort of management authority to define the unique context of the city. I don't know. It's what it reads to me.
I mean, in the end, if there is a program run by staff, John Hawkridge, and then definitely day to day they would be implementing stuff. But yeah.
Well, the way I see it, framing it with the three issues or the three items that we talked about before, this is the who. So the first sentence is kind of restatement of the vision. It's the values. Then we get to this optimization is realized through, well, that's what we're going to do. And then the last sentence is, and these are the people who are going to do it. And it's Albany staff in cooperation with community stakeholders. I think that's where that's going. It doesn't talk about the spending part because that's what you want us to talk about.
Yeah, the idea is that there needs to be someone who's held responsible for making sure that a standard of care is met. And that last sentence is trying to identify who the person is that's going to make sure that the standard of care is met.
How about the unique context of the city? Is there another way to say that? What is it? What's the context of the city?
See, this is where Jeff.
Yeah, I think that there's lots of us been.
That's a problem here.
Albany, the setting, the context in the sense of, where the physical right-of-way that we have to work with, the climate that we have to work with, and the financial resources we have to work with. So I could think of not another word for, it's kind of, I want to say the reality of the city, but I'm not sure that improves the wording any.
I mean, certainly like the climate that we're in and the size of the planting areas and things put constraints on us.
Maybe this clause really is saying two different things. There's the context of the city, and then there's the operations. So there may be two different things really going on here.
It seems like maybe challenges and opportunities is kind of what you're saying by context. What the city, there's challenges posed by the context, and there's opportunities posed by that. And then that leads into the management choices, yeah.
I can't say that our intent with the in cooperation with community stakeholders is that there's an agreed upon program that we go implement. And yes, on a day-to-day basis, we all as staff people have to have enough independence to go work on something without coming to the commission. We can't come to you every month for every day's worth of work. But we can, if we're given a program that's approved by the community stakeholders, ultimately the city council, then we can stay within that program, and that program is based on the input from community stakeholders.
The idea is that there would be an expansion of information sharing through this process, right? So through a defined process, that there would be more communication with this commission and with the community at large. To one of the things that I noticed from being here for several meetings in the past regarding tree removals, it felt like there was a real misunderstanding of what was fair game to be concerned about and what was really not in the realm of it felt like there was miscommunication, a lot of miscommunication. And I think that goes back to your comment earlier about education and just clarity, frankly, in a process. And that, I think, is the source of a lot of problems that I see in municipal governments, and the way that street trees are handled is just a lack of clarity, a lack of understanding of what are some of the key issues, and then how are they responded to by the city. And that there needs to be some trust there, but there also needs to be very clear communication.
Are you referring to that meeting where there's a number of people here?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah.
So when you say Albany staff going to be in cooperation with community stakeholders, that's confusing me. I don't know what the stakeholder is, other than anyone that has, is it open up to anyone that has a interest, or is there certain groups we're trying to just not name right now? Trying to keep
No, I think that's, the idea is to just, a stakeholder can be anyone who has some.
Would we just say community?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then define the unique context of the city. So we could just say, define the context of this. Okay. Yeah, I hate wordsmithing these because you can go forever. So I apologize, because this is like the thing I hate to do the most, and I'm doing it. But I mission statements, so like, you can just spin your wheels on them. But, I guess it was that last sentence. All right, so Albany staff in cooperation with community, or in coordination, maybe, because cooperation sounds up in cooperation. But coordinating is not right either. So under cooperation with the city, define the unique context of the city. How about define the goals of the forest management plan and its operations from which these management choices are acted on, rather than define the context of the city and its operations.
Can I make a suggestion that just clarifies all this, maybe? Is to start with Albany staff in coordination with the community, develop an agreed upon management program?
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Yeah, I don't think defining unity context is doing much work there, I think.
Yeah, it's confusing us, right?
Yeah.
Much better.
And I am trying to keep up with you on the screen. Commissioner Kent, I didn't quite catch your comments on the second, what would now be the second sentence in the mission statement,
The city of Albany is committed to a sustainable future,
period.
period. Then the second one was the protection and growth of trees in the public right-of-way support these sustainable goals. Just breaking them apart, so
Support these, yeah.
framing why they're important.
That works.
I have a comment about the vision statement. Given that there was, very wide support for more canopy, I'm wondering if that can just be added to the vision statement as well. I know it's in the mission statement, but if there's a way, because it says protect and grow a healthy and diverse street tree population, but if also expand,
That's what the grow is for, but I agree with you. Maybe a more expanded word.
Expand a healthy and diverse street tree canopy?
okay, so I mean, if it fits in, I don't necessarily mean that we have to strike out what's already there. Grow a healthy and diverse street tree population, and I guess you could include a clause like, and expand the urban tree canopy, something like that.
I'm just wondering if we substitute canopy, delete the word population and insert
yeah,
canopy.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm wondering, healthy and diverse street tree population, expanding the canopy as an essential social, environmental, economic, community asset for future generations. I don't know if the canopy is,
Yeah, I mean, unless, I mean, I wonder that John might not want diverse street tree canopy. I mean, he might want to like emphasize that it should be diverse, because I know he's talked about diverse trees, which is a little bit different from diverse canopy. Does that make sense? So I think we could keep so I'll just make a suggestion. So grow a healthy and diverse street tree population and expand the tree canopy. I would say that. That would just, and expand the tree canopy as an essential.
We do probably want to keep it street tree, though, because we are dealing with a,
Okay.
you reject the change.
Yeah, where did oh, there we go. All right,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I had for the question, the sentence in the managing part that says ensuring that the benefits are evenly distributed throughout the city. That, I would want to make sure it's clear that there's a difference between equality and equity. So are the benefits the kind of like new trees being, if someone just thought of the benefits as new trees that were planted, then those new trees should not be evenly spread throughout the city if some neighborhoods are full of street trees and others are lacking trees. If benefits are more, include the existing trees and what they're doing for us, and whatever the program is to manage all of the trees.
Maybe just changing that from ensuring the benefits are evenly, instead of saying evenly, say equitably.
Equitably distributed.
I think that's a good word.
Yeah.
That's a really good change.
the concern is that's not grammatically a sentence. That's the only problem I have with it, but we can,
I have a tendency to do that.
that's okay. No problem.
Maybe after we redline this, I'll accept all red lines and we can go through one more time.
Sounds good,
Do
sounds good.
The
Grammar.
grammar check.
Actions invoked by staff to maintain a healthy expanding.
We could change that to invoked by staff and in parentheses, property owners, so that we are including, what is?
I'm a little more concerned about invoked. Invoked just seems kind of like an odd or an awkward word there. I'm sure staff wishes they could just invoke things and just, pretty sure it doesn't work that way.
We discovered it doesn't work.
You tried, but,
Well, maybe it's trying to keep it vague as to who's actually doing the work, so staff might approach a homeowner and say, hey, you need to do this, or you should do this, or maybe that's invoking.
Yeah, you're right. That's an interesting one.
I had driven, but I don't know if driven's anymore, because that seems more like in charge, and staff really doesn't want that role. They want,
Well, they taken by the city.
there's realistic actions taken by this. Yeah?
Taken by staff?
Oh, taken.
Staff was, then I started thinking, what staff?
Invoked.
And then it started getting too detailed.
And they're not doing all the actions, they're just, no, they're doing some of them, but they're not doing all the actions. I think that's what Invoked was doing. They're not, you're not saying you can't hire contractors. Yeah, that's what you're not saying, yeah.
Yeah, it's, I think you can, when we say staff, that could be who we hire to do it, but then if there's a role for a property owner,
Right.
that's not in this sentence.
Well, maybe Invoked is fine, I found it, maybe I've worked through it, but, excuse me. Well, do we want to accept changes and see what
what it looks
we
like?
have? Are we there, or do we have more?
Well,
Should
are we
working
going
on
to tackle the goal?
Oh, yeah.
So the goal is for what the city's goal is, or what, is it the city's goal, or is it sort of this process, this document's goal?
I think that we are trying to put forth a goal that will protect the city from the practical things like risk that is there, right, throughout the goal here is to manage risk and minimize risk to the city and really understand what that means in terms of managing an urban forest.
Okay. I was looking at the city of Alameda's plan. They had it's actually a little bit older, 2010, but they had some goals of their management plan, which is different from the management of the city. But I just thought there's a couple things that they incorporated that I thought were interesting to pull out, and that's this idea of sort of industry best practices.
Yes, absolutely.
So if that's something that doesn't have to be in the mission statement, maybe it is in the goal, right? To just say our goal is to use, anyway, so that was one thing, is to adhering to the industry's best practices for maintenance. And, they had similar things about mitigating risk and all of that. They also had similar things about expanding the canopy. But I think it was definitely, and then also cultivate an attractive and functional street tree landscape design that uses scientifically researched, cost-effective technologies and strategies. And so I don't really see aesthetic in there, and I do think people do care about the aesthetic. So if there's a way we could include the aesthetic, and then also to, again, sort of refer to cost-effective, scientifically researched best practices or cost-effective technologies and best practices, that kind of thing.
Those
Not
are
sure.
great comments. I think aesthetic probably
here?
needs to go in the vision as well.
Okay. Can I say optimize the sustained aesthetic and environmental benefits?
Yeah, maybe you could say optimize the sustained benefits, and then in parentheses or comma, aesthetic, environmental,
List out some of the benefits.
yeah, list out those benefits, yeah, some of the known benefits, cooling, I don't know. And then somewhere in there, also talk about like industries, best practices for,
Something like consistent with industry
yes,
Standards,
best practices,
best management practice.
best
management, yeah.
and scientific,
As scientifically researched, cost-effective technologies. And strategies.
and,
Yeah,
sorry,
technologies and strategies. That's what they had, so.
all right.
you want to go back up to the vision so that we
Sure.
add aesthetic? I think that's a really good point. Protect, grow a healthy,
Is it among the list of social, environmental, economic,
aesthetic,
and community?
yeah.
What jumped out at me was quality of life, which I think is kind of along lines of
Yeah.
aesthetic. So I think either one, but,
I like that.
and I just decided that that was supposed to be held by community, and I thought the word community was doing a lot of work there.
Quality-
Right.
I like spelling it out a little more
Yeah.
explicitly.
Where would you like to see?
No, I think aesthetic is fine. It's kind of the same point. I just
Yeah.
had a different way of looking.
But maybe we can add that thought of the, what did you just say?
Quality of life?
Thank you, quality of life. We could add that at the end of the vision there. We could say community asset for current and future generations, contributing to to enhance the quality of life for all residents or something.
Enhance quality of life, or, yeah.
And I had a few suggestions. Let's see, one was, I think it's a gerund, ensuring. So instead of the word ensuring, put the city will ensure. That?
I'm sorry, which section are you in the mission?
The mission statement.
Third sentence now.
I don't know how to count them anymore, but yeah.
Oh, I see, okay, ensuring,
That turns it into a sentence. Good job.
Yeah, so the idea there would be that, try this one, the city will ensure that the benefits are equitably distributed through the city and are maintained to optimize benefits for all residents. And then, let's think about that for now. And then the next sentence, I thought it would be good to get rid of, the first part of it is pretty convoluted and repeats some of the things, so would be maybe just to say the optimization of benefits will also factor in the inherent risk of those trees to a level that is blah, blah, blah. I think that's what it's trying to say.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's a really good,
So start with the optimization of benefits, which is how the previous sentence ends. The optimization of benefits will also factor in or take into account the inherent risk of those trees, blah, blah.
I think the important part of the sentence for me is to a level that is reasonable, practical, and proportionate.
Jeff, I don't know if you meant to, but you took out the maintain a healthy and expanding tree canopy for that paragraph then?
I didn't, sorry.
I don't know if we can ensure that the benefits will be equitably distributed. We can endeavor to do that.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Strive or something like that?
Strive,
Strive to ensure. Above the city will, the red right
we'll
above.
strive to ensure, there we are. Next time we'll number the lines. Keep up with you.
Strive to ensure.
Benefits are evenly,
Strive to ensure.
equitably distributed through the city.
Hard to read like it was written by committee.
Okay, I think that's it.
You mean really good?
Yeah, sure.
Should I accept all changes and see what it looks like?
Okay.
Yes, it's a.
Couple spelling things, but it'll pick it up properly.
Won't be pretty, but start.
Read it off.
Would you like me to read it out loud, or?
We don't have it in front of us, so.
Okay. The city of Albany will strive to protect and grow a healthy and diverse street tree population and expand the street tree canopy as an essential social, environmental, economic, aesthetic, and community asset for current and future generations to enhance the quality of life for all residents.
I would say we could say, and community asset to enhance the quality of life for all future, or for the future and current future generations.
Yeah, I think that,
How's
move,
Repeats what at the end.
yeah, so aesthetic and community asset to enhance the quality of life for current and future generations.
So, so I'm deleting the last part?
You're moving it.
You're moving that.
it forward.
You're deleting the of life for all residents. Or no, for all residents, not of life. We want of life, but for all residents, we don't need.
Okay.
And then moving
To enhance.
to enhance the quality of life after asset.
All right,
think that
now will you
works.
accept all changes, and let's read it again.
The City of Albany will strive to protect and grow a healthy and diverse street tree population and expand the street tree canopy as an essential social, environmental, economic, aesthetic, and community asset to enhance the quality of life for current and future generations.
Good.
Getting somewhere.
All right. The first sentence is done. So starting with the mission statement, the City of Albany is committed to a sustainable future. The protection and growth of trees in the public right-of-way support the sustainability goals. And here, the grammar has fallen apart. You'll have to help me. Support the sustainability goals and ensure that the benefits.
Okay, wait, let's go back. Okay, so the City of Albany is committed to a sustainable future, period. Through the protection and growth of trees and public right-of-way, the city supports these sustainability goals, maybe? Or these sustainability goals are supported through, how about these sustainability goals are supported through the protection and growth of trees in the public right-of-way?
I think that works. I think it's better.
It's moving sustainability goals up to the front of the sentence so that we're putting the subject first, I think.
Through sustainability, excuse me,
Where do you want it?
The sustainability goal, right? That's what you said.
these sustainability goals will be achieved through the protection of,
So clear just a minute ago.
No,
will be
Supported, not achieved.
a supported,
The protection and growth of trees
in the,
right away.
right away. Delete the support at the end of that sentence.
except,
City of Albany is committed to a sustainable future. The sustainability goals will be supported through the protection and growth of trees in the public right-of-way.
I feel like these better. These sustainability goals, I think, ties it a little more clearly to
Yeah.
the previous sentence.
These sustainability goals will be supported through the protection and growth of trees in the public right-of-way. The city will strive to ensure that benefits are equitably distributed throughout the city and are maintained to optimize benefits for all residents. This optimization is realized through actions invoked by staff to maintain a healthy and expanding tree canopy while managing the benefits. Will also factor the, okay, so this optimization is realized through actions. I thought we didn't like invoked.
We didn't, but we gave up.
Okay. Through actions invoked by staff to maintain a healthy and expanding tree canopy. I think we should probably get a period in there.
We've got a run-on
After a
sentence.
tree
here, yeah.
canopy. This optimization, yeah, exactly, right there. The benefits of trees will also factor, management of the benefits of trees will also factor the inherent risk of the tree, of those trees. And I don't love that. Okay, so,
So by inherent risk, you're meaning danger. or just,
Trees, all trees in the right-of-way in any setting pose risk. Right.
of all sorts?
There is,
Okay.
there is risk
Just want to be
posed
clear.
by trees, yeah.
I want to be sure I understood, yeah.
Yeah.
Not risk to the trees, risk
Right.
from the trees.
There's no such thing as a zero-risk tree. All trees have inherent risk, and it's just a question of managing that risk.
Sure.
You know, trees basically have almost no risk in comparison to some of the other things that we do on a daily basis, like get in our car, which is probably the most dangerous thing and risky thing that you do every day, so.
Couple things, I think evoked is still problematic and it should be taken.
Okay, taken?
Evoked is something that's very powerful.
Okay.
The only trick with taken, though, is that that to me says that city staff are
Doing it.
Well, but the staff can take an action that causes the contractor to do it, or take an action that
Causes
roll
the
out
homeowner
a
to do it?
property owner program or something. Yeah, I like that, like taken.
Okay.
And just nitpicking about the word all, I think we're just assuming all, we don't say all residents and all everybody, just take out all. Benefits for residents. That's all.
Yeah,
I think-
and we could possibly, or potentially, I would suggest taking out residents, because we're not just doing this to
Yeah, right.
For all.
benefits for
benefits
all.
for
We're
all.
just
even better, yeah.
benefiting
All,
all.
period, or all people, yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah, keep all and take out residents.
That's all we need.
Okay, so can you accept all, and then let's get back to that last sentence. Okay, so management,
Of the benefits, yeah.
of the benefits will also factor in the inherent risk of those trees. So I think we need,
So real quick, so benefits, can we just end with benefits instead of saying benefits for all? Why do we need to say for all?
Right. Well, that's a statement about equitability. So I just think it kind of underlines the equitability.
It's not just to make one neighborhood better.
Optimize benefits.
I think you're right, we could take out for all and just have it end with optimized benefits.
Okay, let's see what that's.
Since we already say
Or
equity,
optimizing,
equitably.
Yeah, that does say for all.
Optimized
Yeah, I think
Okay.
definitely we could take that out.
Okay.
Okay, this optimization is realized through the actions taken by staff to maintain a healthy and expanding tree canopy. I think managing benefits doesn't make sense there. I think it's got to be managing trees will
Okay.
also factor in the inherent risk. The trees, I don't know, something about that doesn't add up.
Tree program or the,
Urban forest.
Management of
forest.
it's not really the urban
no,
forest.
there's just the
it's
street trees,
yeah.
The street tree
Yeah,
forest.
street trees, right. Urban forest is too much.
Management of the street tree canopy will also factor in the inherent risk. I think the risk is what we have to talk about being managed. The inherent risk is what we're trying to say is being managed. So,
Well, how about management of risk of or for street trees? I don't know. How do you say that?
okay, so management of inherent risk of street trees.
Associated with street trees?
Wait, okay, so, how about risk will be, street tree risk will be managed to a level that is reasonable, practical, and proportionate.
Street tree. Management. Is that it?
Or will
Or ma-
factor in the inherent risk? Well, that's,
Oh, no, because it's,
No.
what we're trying to manage is the risk, the inherent risk.
okay.
So inherent risk will be managed to a level that is reasonable, practical, and proportionate. Inherent street tree risk.
I'm sorry, so you're losing me. The street tree,
No. Just start with the inherent risk presented by street trees will be managed.
Okay, and delete everything before that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, exactly. The inherent street tree, no, the inherent risk street trees present. Instead of canopy, present.
The inherent risk, street trees present will also factor,
Will be managed
Will be managed.
to a level that is
Yep.
reasonable.
You're doing a great job, Jeff.
I was about to apologize for my,
The inherent
Hunting and
risk
pecking.
street trees present.
I think I need the word "be" in front of managed.
Will be managed, yeah, the inheritance will be managed.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
If you want to accept, I think, then we can actually figure out if this works. All right. So this optimization is realized through actions taken by staff to maintain and expanding tree canopy. I keep on stumbling on that. The inherent risk that trees present will be managed to a level that is reasonable, practical, and proportionate. Albany staff, in coordination with the community, will develop an agreed-upon management program.
I don't know if you're looking at the same one he's got.
Oh, I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
no, it is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, this screen is the same as what's being done.
Albany staff, in coordination with the community,
Will,
Will
will
develop.
develop, I think. Will develop an agreed-upon management program. Yeah.
develop and operate or develop and
Well, it doesn't need,
invoke?
Develop and implement, yeah, invoke,
I don't
exactly.
think you need agreed upon, because you're,
Oh, because we're agreeing upon it.
You're already coordinating, you're already
Good point.
We'll
coordinating.
develop a management program.
All right. The
I mean,
city-
isn't this the preamble to the management program? So do we need to mention that we're developing the program?
Yeah. Like if you have a book that's your catalog, it lists all the books in your library, do you list it as one?
As a book in your library, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
so-
that's true.
that like,
Now, we could make it
Because
programs.
if this is something that's gonna go, like he's saying, in the final product, then the management the development of the program will be done, I would think.
We'll implement?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
that
good
works.
one. The City of Albany is committed to a sustainable future. These sustainability goals will be supported through the protection and growth of trees in the public right-of-way. The city will strive to ensure that the benefits are equitably distributed throughout the city and are maintained to optimize benefits. Optimization is realized through actions taken by staff to maintain a healthy and expanding tree canopy. The inherent risk street trees present will be managed to a level that is reasonable, practical, and proportionate. Albany staff, in coordination with the community, will develop and implement, will implement a management program. I like it.
The management program? Yes.
The,
I think that's better. Okay. So now we have the, what we're doing and the who's going to do it. Well, we don't have who's going to pay for it yet, right? That's not part of this so far. What's the big question you had?
Well, then if we knew the city was gonna do everything, then we could be more specific about a lot of things
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I think we can kick that can down the road a
I
little
think,
bit.
I think we have to. I don't think,
Yeah,
I think
It's
we
gonna
can,
go
we
two
can
different
flesh out some,
it has to be vague enough.
I don't think I'm ready to make a commitment either way, so I
think that's fair.
need to wait, yeah.
Okay,
And then I do like the idea of, particularly since the public didn't see this in advance, and we really would be to send it also to the Climate Action Committee. I don't know when they meet. And then also, I don't know, it'd be good to, and maybe that's enough, unless people want to see it again next month. What do you guys think?
I would just say, is there anybody tuning in online?
I noticed we do have a couple of members of the public online now.
If there's anybody who has their hand raised, I think we could open it for public.
We have
comment.
2 people who are listening in. As of right now, their hands aren't raised.
Okay, so if I would just, speaking to those folks, if you'd like to have some comment, we can open public comment again, because I think we'd like to hear what you have to say. What is that?
Professional editors are.
Yeah, hopefully. Not seeing anything?
No.
Okay, provided their last names aren't Faulkner, I think we can move ahead. All right. Little run-on sentence joke there. So the goal, are we set with the goal?
Yeah, I think we have an opportunity to include additional goals as well. This
Sure.
wasn't supposed to be like the only goals that we're going to be in this document. I think our goals are definitely forthcoming. Additional goals will be forthcoming, so.
Kind of like a model then for us here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely want to have,
you're looking to have one kind of summary statement for the goals, not kind of list a whole bunch of street tree benefits.
no, I think we are going to have more than one goal, and this will not be a standalone goal for this document. At least that's not the way that I kind of drafted it.
Your thinking was this is specifically the risk part, but then
Yeah,
the
this
other
is
goals that
kind
are
of
about
like
the
getting an idea
expanding
for
canopy
who
and-
does
yeah.
what, when,
Okay.
that kind of stuff, the who, what, where of the document. Once we have that kind of sorted out, then I think we have some good direction on how we can proceed. And I think right now, what it sounds like you all would like for us to come back with, maybe in, I'm going to be gone in June, so I can't come back in June, but I think you guys don't meet in August, right?
Right, so I think we were conservative in saying we'll be back in September.
Yeah.
If we have something that we need your input on in July, maybe we would do that, but we're not sure we're going to be there.
Any chance you could take this to the other committee before?
This could go just as
Yeah.
you know, for example, definitely Climate Action Committee, they're meeting in next week. I'm not sure how full their agenda is, but if not this month, next month is not a problem. I make it a practice for the other commissions and committees that are department staffs that we report in on what each other are doing. So I can take this to Planning and Zoning Commission and Transportation Commission.
Excellent.
Okay.
And I think in September, you all could be looking forward to seeing some cost estimates for what maintenance might look like if the city were to take it on, and a little bit more fleshed out. I think our goal is to have a little bit more fleshed out processes, both for if the city is going to take on maintenance and if it's not. So maybe what the differences might look like. I don't know how fleshed out we'll get by then, but I'm hoping to have some really good understanding of where a community can be involved in the decision-making process and where city staff has to be.
Invoking is the word you're looking for.
Yes, exactly. Where city staff is going to invoke community input and where they're going to be able to move forward.
I do see a raised hand. Any objection, I think we could open up for a public
I was going to
comment?
say, there is a hand now raised.
All right, thank you. And I believe,
Okay, Roberta, you can go ahead.
Okay, hi, sorry I'm late to this, but I just got on a little while ago. I wanted to find out, are you guys going to be doing anything with the sidewalks on these trees that we planted that are starting to come up from the roots? I mean, is the city responsible for that? That's my question.
Okay.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Jeff, do you want to, or somebody want to respond to that? Or-
Yes. So we do have a separate sidewalk program, and there's a lot of interface between repairing sidewalks and dealing with street trees and their roots. And so our Public Works Department is leading, Jamira's colleague, James, is leading a multi-phase project. I don't know if we're in the sixth, eighth phase of it now.
Yes.
To repair and upgrade sidewalks and protect the trees as much as possible when doing that. And those repairs are prioritized based on risk to the pedestrian using the sidewalks. So if there are any questions about that, I would direct them to the Public Works Department, where
Specifically James. He's
And-
the
and so I
engineer.
would just say that there is a funding mechanism for this, and there's a limited budget, so they do as much as they can every year, and they're kind of trying to go in severity order. And is there, if they have a concern about a particular sidewalk, should they contact someone, or is it already surveyed and kind of already?
If anyone has a sidewalk that they would like to report, please report it to the Public Works Department, and James has a spreadsheet that he goes out and takes a look, and then they're, like Jeff said, they're ordered by how that sidewalk is used. So like if it's close to
Oh,
a
okay.
school or something like that,
That's part of the
particular
consideration.
sidewalk would get priority because it's more often used, so.
And there's the handy report a problem form on the website. Could they just use that?
Yes, the service request page, or you can call me, you can email me, whatever's more convenient for you.
All right.
And then the city council just recently approved I think the funding or something for the next round. And the list of all the sites where those are being done is in the public record somewhere.
Yes, or you can call James and he can tell you if your street has been selected or if your street is on the list or anything like that.
All right.
and I just add, we did do a very comprehensive survey a couple of years ago. We're going to do another one in the next year or two as
Things grow.
ground moves, trees grow, things settle. So there'll be another, literally every foot of the city sidewalks were analyzed for tripping hazards.
All right. Well, thank you, Roberta. I think we answered your question. Great, thanks. Anything more you need from us tonight?
This has been terrific. Thank you. And
Yeah.
again, we appreciate your patience with our work in progress.
We probably appreciated it, seeing it earlier rather than later, so there's more for us to chew on, so don't worry
We're in
about
a
it.
better place.
We're in a better place. I'm not trying to use that euphemism, but there we go. All right. So I'm going to close item 5.1 without any complaints about that. And then subcommittee report, did you want to give an update on the Greenway Mini Park Subcommittee?
Sure, not a real detail,
Sure,
but
just-
just, so we met out on the site, Estrella, Martin, myself,
Which, Martin?
Noji. And we looked at it and came up with a list. We talked to some of the people that are actually there and got their ideas. Came up with a lot of ideas, and we started growing, and we were concerned how big, but we said, well, just let the horses run. So we got a big list of ideas and thoughts, and we can, and I guess we have to test the waters about how much money we have, what we want to do. And then also, is this just an internal process? The question came up, is this just an internal committee process, or do we reach out and have more of a community involvement? At the risk of creating it, making it so big, nothing gets done. But at the other risk on the other side is just having a contained decision that maybe doesn't encompass the potential. So that's where we are right now. Anything you want to add to that?
No,
But it wasn't just exercise, it was also passive things like tables and chessboard tables, and maybe a place where kids can hang out while the adults exercise and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And we had questions about expanding the space.
Yeah.
So we saw this like wooden area. We didn't know what that was for, but it's kind of all throughout the trail.
They're like every third column, there's a wooden platform.
Yeah.
Does it
Yes.
cover some sort of utility? Jeff, do you happen to know?
You guys know what
On the
that
BART
is?
system?
I always thought that was a 70s
I should
bench.
know, because we actually did the design, the Greenway in our plans about 15 years ago in the office. I I know, I'll just look it up.
Could it be some sort of irrigation controller or something?
No, it's much bigger. It's covers some utility. It's a big 8x8
Yeah.
wooden platform.
When you find out, tell Jeff.
Yeah, I'll find out. Yeah.
You can always, take some pictures, so that way we can see what you're referencing, and then that way Mark can get back to you.
Yeah. You might know, yeah, right, okay.
And I was on the Zoom for the city council meeting and wasn't planning to speak during the public comment at the beginning, but there was a member of the public. She got on and she was asking the city council on Monday what's going to go in on the greenway there for the exercise equipment. And she thought it was still being funded by sugar sweetened beverage money and all this kind of thing. So when she was done, I was like, okay, I raised my hand online, and so I said, hey, by the way, I'm on this commission. I'm not on the subcommittee, even though the agenda tonight says I am.
Don't be fooled.
And the minutes say that I am. But I encouraged her and anybody else to reach out to our commission and to follow our meetings if they want input on it. So people are eagerly waiting to see what comes out of this.
Yeah, I guess, what do you guys think of, potentially expanding? Because when we went there last week or a week and a half ago, there was a space to the left that was just green grass that we could potentially expand,
Sorry, when you say expand, meaning like, I guess that is what you're saying. So to area that's currently not being used as a play area?
Yes, it's just grass right now, and we were thinking about the area in San Francisco, a lot bigger than that space. So that was a question we had. And then, the wooden blocks or logs, we were kind of trying to see who uses it, the kids. Could that be potentially something that we add to the workout equipment, or just leave that alone? That was a question we had. A big, how right now it's just dirt, so people can't do push-ups and all that. If we made it like a rubber, what did we call it again?
Yeah, rubber surface, yeah.
Rubber surface, the one guy we
Part of
talked to seemed pretty excited about that, but I know that would cost money, so we could do a lot. But
Yeah.
Instructions too. I mean, a lot of times people don't know how to use the equipment.
Right.
So a
Yes.
board that would show different exercises you can do, I think.
And then right now, I just came from a parent, open house for my daughter, and one of the parents was like, we need some pull-up bars. So everybody's asking for.
I feel like pull-up bars is such a no-brainer, because it's not, there's no moving parts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A couple different heights, yeah.
Cool, well, that's,
Well, I don't know what kind of feedback you want right now, but I don't know, I mean, this is the space for it, but I love that idea of expanding. I mean,
it was
yeah.
always budget, and.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
kind of what was
Okay.
What I do notice, though, is I was part of the plan when we did it the last time, and those logs were intended to be play area, and I never see anybody on them. So, so it might be less expensive to utilize that.
Yeah.
than I don't know, than trying to move over where the other lawn is, but I would be in support of that, because again, I don't know. They don't look worn.
Is that where some
not.
kids sometimes
They
play?
don't look worn, they look brand new.
Exactly.
They've been
These
there
are the
for 10 years.
I have to see the space. It's where some kids use it, though, from time to time, no? Is it not
If they
those
do, they
logs?
got clean shoes, because.
Oh, interesting.
It looks very new.
Some do, yeah,
Interesting.
some do, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I like
that'd be
utilizing underutilized spaces, too, right? Yeah, for sure.
That's great, guys. That's, a lot of work. Appreciate it. That's wonderful.
We do have a hand raised for
Okay,
public comment.
great, yeah. Open for public comment.
Go ahead, Roberta.
Hi again. I was the one who called at the city council meeting.
Okay, great.
Because I was thinking it was through sugar sweetened beverage taxes that we were going to get the equipment. So I just want to, since I do live right across the street from this, and I went down to the picture day for Little League last week, and they have a great like monkey bars, ropes, I don't know if you guys have been down there to look at it, but it's great down there. And I was thinking of something like that because it does get used a lot by kids. And when you do talk about the logs do get used by little kids and older, maybe like 8 and 9-year-olds. And when you guys were speaking about the lawn, that does get used too. In fact, there's a family that comes almost daily and they do baseball and they do soccer, they set up nets. So the lawn does get used, and I think that would be not a great idea to expand the equipment over on that side, but that's my opinion, but I wanted to give you my 2 cents. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, thank
Yeah,
you.
that's actually really good input.
Bye.
Thanks for your thoughts. Thank you.
We should make sweeping ideas just having visited once, right? We gotta
Sure.
kind of,
I mean, that's
yeah,
definitely.
Oh, we're not making any plans.
Expanding would definitely, changing, I think, should involve more of a community input process.
Yeah, if we do big changes, we would, yeah, that would go hand in hand, wouldn't it? Yeah, right. Okay, thanks, Roberta. That's good.
And my thought for that particular expansion is that there's a lot of grass.
Yes.
Sure.
all throughout.
I agree.
So
And there's
people
some,
could play. That's my thought. If we wanted to expand just that little small area.
Right.
Because there's a lot of space.
There's a lot of space.
Left.
and there's that little strip between the DG and the trail, which is about 3 feet of
Yes, that's kind of
weed
what I
whacked
would.
Yeah,
grass.
so it's not a big, nobody's setting up a big baseball operation there. I
So
think
that's just
they're
a
just to put
tripping
context,
area, right?
right, for the caller who is saying that it's probably, that's not probably where that family is setting up the,
Baseball.
playing baseball there. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Great.
And do you guys have any, what's your thinking behind possibly having extra seating in the workout area? That was a thought.
That's a great idea. I really like that idea, yeah.
And I think someone from here brought up the ping pong. Was that you?
Well, I know that there was city council interest in a concrete ping pong ball table a number of years ago. I don't know if
Somewhere in the city. Originally, it was proposed.
it was going to be at Ocean View.
Ocean View Park,
They have,
but, yeah.
they have concrete foosball tables and cornhole tables, all kinds of stuff, but ping pong is probably.
Yeah. It's good, something that needs less equipment is good. I don't know if anything.
Chess tables are cool too, like concrete chess tables,
And
yeah.
they're easy. In fact, you can play ping pong on a chess table.
Okay,
At all. At all.
that's a big,
But I would say that, I mean, ping pong, compared to, like, anybody can play chess in their home. Playing chess outdoors is nice as well. But ping pong, like, few people in Albany have an empty garage or
true.
or a basement, you know.
My garage wouldn't be big enough.
yeah, I agree.
Good point.
Right.
I mean, we're looking at this space, but I do think there's room for the subcommittee to look at other spaces along Ohlone, right? Because there's almost every street intersection, there's opportunities.
I think
so,
that there's specific,
I think we realized quickly that, yeah, this could expand.
Yeah,
The committee becomes maybe a whole separate commission of
yep.
sorts.
Well, the Greenway is part of the Parks Master Plan.
Yep.
So, yeah.
and we have so little open space, so it's something that, yeah. Okay. Any other comments on that? Thank you very much, appreciate it. I know that's a lot of work, and it's great. Closing that item then now, future agenda items, anything you'd like to suggest? I don't know if anything came up during the meeting.
One future agenda item will be a Prop 68 update on the
Okay.
projects going on with that, like the pickleball and the dog park and all of those. So we're hoping we'll be able to get Andre in next month to give you an update on all of those.
I'd be delighted to bring out the chamber's big scissors and a ribbon when we put up the pickleball court. That'd be awesome.
You have one?
Yeah, they're my Zoom background during COVID. Okay, anything that the commission would like to request? All right. All right, with that, we will note that our next meeting is June 13th, and we will adjourn.
Okay, thank you.
It is